Hello, families, and welcome to Legacy. We are super excited to have y'all. If you could we're like one big happy family tonight. If you could just introduce yourself in the chat and say what you are most excited about for that transition to high school. We're going to convince you to come to Legacy. You might not be thinking about that right now, so we can go overall about high school. But what's the most exciting thing about it for you? So go ahead and just pop that into the chat. Like I said, we're going to build our happy family tonight. Ooh, I love that. Anyone else? What we're most excited for at Legacy or in high school? I said we're going to convince you about Legacy tonight, but in high school in general, I love that it's a new beginning. And then in about 30 seconds, Phillips, I'm going to ask you what you are most excited for in the transition for these 8th graders. So I'll let you think on that. If anyone else wants to type in the chat, even if it's just a private message to me, go ahead and just let us know what you are excited for in this transition for either you or your student. Some of you guys might be like, to send my student to high school, get them out of the house for longer. Closer to graduation is right. Love that. All right, Phillips, I told you 30 seconds. What are you most excited for these 8th graders transition to high school?
Okay. It was a struggle to unmute myself. Okay. I'm most excited. Well, first of all, hello, everyone. I'm going to do a brief introduction before I jump in because you guys are, I don't want to start talking before I introduce myself. I am the principal at Legacy College Prep. I am the very proud principal of Legacy College Prep. I've been in the educational space for close to 20 years. And I will say that high school is my absolute favorite, which brings me to my favorite part. I'm most excited for the 8th grader to experience high school. I do think that high school is very unique. Being a person that's gone through all the bands as a child myself, but also as a person who has taught in the great bands, have led in the great bands, being in high school is very, very different, very unique, and very, very exciting. It's the next thing to that excitement that you have in college. I agree with the mom who talked about the new beginnings. You start to craft your true identity of who you are. And I do think your high school experience plays into that journey that you go on with figuring out who you really are. So I'm super excited for 8th graders to experience that, especially at Legacy.
Awesome. Thanks, Phillips. And thanks for reminding ourselves that we like an introduction before we begin talking. I'm Ms. DeMong. I handle student enrollment and programming. I love the 8th to 9th grade transition. I think it's one of new beginnings. It's one of figuring out what you want, maybe with or without your parents telling you exactly what to do. I'm sorry, parents, but it's a time for some mature decision-making in a still supported environment. And I love to see that at Legacy. So the new opportunities hit it right. And just the new start hit it. Why I love high school. So I'm super excited to welcome y'all to Legacy. You're locked in for hearing about Legacy, our mission, our academics, our extracurriculars, what we have, hearing from students a little bit and seeing a bit of the school, and then question and answers. So one thing to note is I love Zoom because if you're anything like me, you forget your questions the second you have them, but you can write them down on Zoom. So pop questions into the chat as you have them. If we don't have the answer for you right away, or we know we're going to cover it, we might not say the answer right away, but by the end, we'll have a list of questions that we can make sure we get to. And then also towards the end, we'll allow everyone to come off mute if they have questions and ask them. Like I said, we're a big happy family today, so we'll ask questions the old-fashioned way, face to face. For now, you are muted, and then towards the end of this, we will allow you to unmute yourself. So we're locked in. You probably wonder what we're all about, and Phillips will tell you.
All right, let's get started with that. So our mission here at LCP is that we support students and families in living choice-filled lives to achieve their goals of excellence by offering an engaging education that develops critical and creative thinkers. We empower and support students in being active agents of social justice by amplifying their voices. Know that our main goal is to prepare your babies, our babies, for the real world. At this school, we take great pride in our 3 values, which is social justice, excellence, and agency. A lot of what we do is centered around these 3 values, which we're going to talk about a little bit more when I talk about what it means to be a bulldog. All right, what does it mean to be a bulldog? Let me first say this. One of my favorite things about KIP is that a lot of our leaders, our teachers have been in the network for a long time. I love the close-knit family. We say a lot about team and family, and we truly mean that. So a lot of times, if you're coming from a KIP school, most likely I know your principal, I know your vice principal, I know a lot of your teachers. So I ultimately kind of know you because like I could go back to those people who have like been with you throughout your journey of even ECE, because some of our students have been with us since pre-K. That being said, team and family is the core of like what a bulldog is. I also want to mention that like when you see the video of like what it feels like the students to be at Legacy, you're going to hear that team and family come out. So the values that we just mentioned, social justice, we deeply, deeply believe in our kids and providing a quality education for all of our students. We're super duper adamant about like our students' sense of belonging and support. You're going to hear about so many of the extracurricular activities that we have or the sports that we have, or how SGA does an amazing job of advocating and having like an amazing voice in their high school experience. Excellence. We are forever, parents, this is for you. We as leaders are forever walking in classrooms, pouring into our academic culture, at the same time, making sure that our students feel heard and seen, offering more to our course catalog with our NAF academies, our academic programming, earning college credits, as well as building the sports department and the arts. And then last but not least, our agency. We have one of the most active SGAs that I've ever encountered, including my own childhood experience of being in SGA. They are constantly bringing student voices to the forefront, constantly advocating for tons of initiatives for students in this space. And I think, again, what I am so proud to be a part of and what really, really makes being a bulldog very special is that like those voices are really heard. I feel like our students like lead our spaces. I feel like our students lead our school. And I do think that that's a very, very important part of high school culture and of high school experience is being able to lead your journey and lead your experience in high school. So being a bulldog is team and family all the way, but it's also a social justice, excellence, and agency at Legacy.
There is certainly a lot to being a bulldog, and it is a fantastic experience to be a part of. I always like to start with quick facts because I know students, you're like itching to know how big are my classes? What am I going to wear? And parents, this is really important information too. So we are a school of about 400 students. We are a bit heavier in the younger grades. So that's 9th and 10th grade. And that says we're like growing a little bit. but we are still really intentional with our ninth grade and building relationships. I know the name of every single ninth grader. So does the dean. So do all their teachers. So does Miss Billups, and she gives everyone a hug in the morning. So 400 might seem big, but it really feels like a small school. Dress expectations. We have a pretty simple dress code. We ask that you show school pride, like Miss Billups and I are right now, and don't wear rips or tears in your jeans. Keep those open-toed shoes and Crocs at home. Getting to legacy. This is something I really love about legacy is we've tried to figure out the best ways to get to our building the most safely. So there is the A2 bus. It drops off at our front door. On a rainy day, it is a simple like sprint into the building and you get about 3 raindrops. It's perfect. But then we also have the shuttle from Congress Heights that drops off at the Wheeler campus. If you are someone who has other students at the Wheeler campus, that allows siblings to drop each other off. That shuttle is also supervised by a staff member who greets the students in the morning and really like gets them into a good mood if they're not. I say that it's a 5-star Uber ranking every single day, and the students do too. We also, in the afternoon, have a shuttle to the Anacostia Metro. And that was in direct reaction to hearing that our experience might not be that safe. And we listened to parents and said, we could make it safer by putting a shuttle to Anacostia. And so that's what we do. We shuttle after school to Congress Heights and the Anacostia Metro. Our school times, we have a long-ish day, but we pack it with great academics. Our school colors are light blue and dark blue. If you're something like me, someone like me and cares what you look like and how you look good in a color, the blues are great. And then the bulldog is our school mascot, and it's super cute.
Yeah. Can I also just name that like 2 of my favorite things about being a bulldog from what the quick facts that Mr. Mong just mentioned. Number 1, we are a smaller school. I love being able to hug and say the names of all of my ninth graders. I also love the fact that like, I will name that parents talked about the safety. I'm not going to shy away from that. And all the high schools in the city right now, safety is an issue, right? Most importantly, getting to and from school. We heard our parents on that. So we are providing those shuttles. I want to name that because I do know that that is something that sits at the forefront of parents' minds when they're thinking about the high school that they want to send their kids to. It's also what kids think about when they think about where they want to attend school. So again, that was a direct like reaction to parents and kids saying, hey, I think that this may be an issue. Can we please have transportation for that? And I do think that that was able to happen and people felt really, really comfortable doing that. Because we are KIPP and KIPP's team and family, but also we are a smaller community where most kids know that they can go to their principal, go to Mr. Mong, go to anyone that's in this building, and they have that connection.
Thanks, Philip. All right, academics. Ms. Phillips said we believe in a strong academic experience. We will get you to the finish line if you follow our process. So I heard someone in the chat say, I'm looking forward to getting closer to graduation. Yes, pass all your classes and we will get you there. Embrace experiences and we will get you to graduation with a ton of options. So this is a typical schedule. This is a typical schedule in most DC schools because it hits the DC graduation requirements. Freshmen, you are going to take biology, you're going to take English, you're going to take history and algebra. A lot more choice comes as you become 11th and 12th graders in your electives. Oh my God, but what are the electives? So glad you asked. Art and media, that gets us our art credit, and it's a really cool class. Health is actually a DC health or graduation requirement. We have junior seminar and senior seminar. These help you understand where you are in the experience of high school and prepare you for next steps. So junior seminar talks about college a little bit early. Senior seminar, you actually do college applications, and then you talk a little bit about finance going into your post high school experience, which I wish I had that lesson in high school. We have musical theater, musical production, principles of IT, SAT prep to get ready for those tests you sometimes have to take getting into college, and then strength and conditioning, studio fitness and dance, and weightlifting, which all satisfy the PE requirement for the District of Columbia. So these are classes. You will have 2 electives your freshman year. You have a lot more choice, like I said, as you continue into sophomore, junior, and senior year. And if you don't like your electives, you do have to take PE by the time you graduate, or you do have to take music. So because of how DC is set up, you do get to take the classes you want. You might be stuck with one you don't like, but we're going to get through it together. And then I like to really highlight our special academic experiences. And this is where we are a small school building these out, and we love student and parent voice in this, but we're really proud of the programs we have that differentiate us. So these are programs that not all schools in the city have. Our freshmen have an honors program. What that means is it's increased rigor and cohorted classes beginning in 9th grade. That application is open, and we can drop that link into the chat as we go along in this. If you need more information, you're going to drop your name and number to me in the chat privately, and I will give you a call tomorrow. That application is out. That allows us to really boost our rigor in our 9th grade year if we are someone who loves just the academic experience and trying our hardest in classes. Our NAF IT Academy is a program you start in your 10th grade year that focuses on IT, programming computers, coding, all the things I'm not good at, but someone I'm sure loves. So this is an experience you just get to embrace and take your electives as those. They also have great out of the classroom experiences. So they meet with business professionals to work on their elevator pitches, work on their resumes. They also went to Amazon simply to tour and hear about a career in IT. And they all got Amazon Alexas as a gift from that visit. I'm sorry if I just turned anyone's on. So that's something you get to think about and join your 10th grade year. And then dual enrollment, that allows you to get work done at a college, but earn credits towards high school. So we are aligned with UDC and also some programs around the nation. So we have a dual enrollment that studied at the Wharton School of Business, which is one of the best colleges for studying business. And that is a really good opportunity your 11th and 12th grade year if you want to dabble in trying a little bit of a harder class, but still want the support of a high school. And then our AP classes, you learn from a teacher at Legacy who you might already know and feel super duper comfortable with, but they push you so hard to get you ready for college. And at the end of the year, you take a test. And if you pass that test, you start getting college credit earlier. You get it during high school, and you can take that to help take some credits out of your college experience, which means you don't pay as much. But that's a great thing too, if you want to dabble in, is college for me? Is this rigor for me? Or I just want to start learning really tough stuff with someone I know and at a school I trust. So we have all those programs, and it's like a mismatch. You can join in your 9th grade year. If you need 9th grade to get used to things, you join something in your 10th grade year. You might have not joined in your 9th or 10th grade, so you join something your 11th grade year. It allows a lot of student options. Miss Phillips, I've done a lot of talking about academics. Can you talk a little bit about our college and career counseling program, just because you know it so well?
Absolutely. All right. So again, you're going to hear me say this because a lot of things are my favorite things about KIPP. Another like really favorite thing about KIPP is the support that they give in college career counseling. I am saying, as a person that has worked in different districts before, that like KIPP has done an amazing job of supporting our students to and through college and beyond. So first step that we have here at Legacy is that like for freshman and sophomore year, you form a very strong relationship with your dean and your advisor There are tons of summer opportunities and college partners, and building like a strong foundation through internships, extracurricular, community service, and GPA. One of the things that we say here, and you will hear me say when I stand in front of you and during your orientation, I will say, hey, you start your letter of recommendation the soon as you walk into this door. I'm also going to say you decorate your resume as soon as you walk into this door. Whether you choose to go to college or whether you choose to do career right afterwards, you are decorating that resume. And you do that through internships. You do that through extracurricular. You do that through community service. You do that through your GPA. Then junior year, you get a little bit more of an intense support, right? Where we do targeted college tours. I know our juniors and our seniors are getting ready to go in March. They're getting ready to do a North Carolina college tour. Targeted college tours, spring match meetings, junior college night, seminar class, SAT testing and preparation. Senior year is where it really is, of course. Seminar class is where we're supporting you in applying for colleges. It is where we're supporting families and financial aid counseling. It is where we are supporting that actual transition to Keep Forward Advisor, where you would get the person that's going to support you after high school. And then, of course, you have a college and career counselor that is based at your school. This person is going to counsel you on like, what are the schools that I should like go for? What are the schools I should reach for? What are some of the schools that I think I automatically need to go into? Or what are some of the programs that I need to look for? Because this is a career path that I want to go on. So again, like stamping that this is college and career counseling that happens, which I think is very exciting and very rare when you look around like other schools. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Phillips. This is also like one of my favorite things about KIP. And I want to focus on that senior year. There are very few other schools that give you time in school to work on this stuff. And so a lot of times your senior year and parents, like you're going to have a 17 or 18-year-old who stays up half the night doing these applications to college. We have a class that they can do it so they can go to bed at a normal time. Maybe. Or they can have a job after school and worry about this stuff in school. It's a very supportive environment. And even today, a college and career counselor was sitting by a student calling a college, calling together to work on what do we ask? How do we ask it? This is a really scary transition. We think 8th to 9th is tough. 12th to the future is really tough. And it's nice to have someone truly walking next to you and your student. Okay, students, this is like when you turn it up. I know your parents have listened to the academics. Students and maybe parents, this is for you. Our extracurriculars. So we have two types. Really, we think of two types of extracurriculars. We think of athletics and we think of clubs. And so our athletics department is working to provide this positive outlet. And I truly believe this about our athletic program. They are trying to make the highest quality student athletes who perform in classrooms, who perform in our hallways, who are positive members of our school community. I have never seen, Phillips, and I think you can back me on this one, a football team that comes together in such a loving way, and they still win games, but they talk about character. And it's truly just, I would send my own kids to this team. So we have contact football, volleyball, basketball, track and field, baseball, cheerleading, and competition. And so they do athletic competitions after school, but they are really, really embraced throughout the school day as athletes and as student athletes. So that is very, very important. Our football team is rapidly growing. If you are a football player, feel free to let us know in the chat. But Coach Boyd is building a program at Legacy. Next year is the first year we can officially compete in the state tournament. We hope that we do not disappoint that year. So he's building a program over here. Basketball has Coach Jimmy, who is connected to the AAU circuit. I don't think our girls basketball team loses, but I want to knock on wood on that one. And then our cheerleaders are truly something else, and one of the greatest cheer teams I've seen, and they do the stunts and all. So they are really, really hardworking. But parents, I do want to like take a moment and just say how much we preach character as well as our athletics.
And I also just want to name that another favorite part is that all the coaches are either teachers here or like really well-known community members. Coach Lane has been in the district for years, coaching at different schools like Anacostia, Ballou. You have Coach Jimmy, who is very prevalent in the community. And then you have a lot of our other coaches who have been with KIP DC for a minute, who've been with, who are actually our teachers in the building. So kids have very close relationships with their coaches.
And then we have our extracurriculars. This is where it gets, well, I think I've said multiple times, this is where it gets really fun. Extracurriculars is a program that we constantly build out due to student voice. So if you are passionate about something and don't see it on here, you're going to come into Legacy on day one. You're going to find me and you're going to say, we are building out this program or club because I am interested. So extracurricular activities are really where you get to bring your passions into the building outside of the academic experience. Ms. Phillips talked about SGA earlier. That's our Student Government Association, and I will back her in this is the most active student government association I have ever seen, and I was a part of one in high school. They truly advocate for other students. They build out programs. If it wasn't virtual and late at night, they would be here talking about legacy. They love it. They want to spread the legacy word for all. And they are just really positive community members. We also have yearbook, weightlifting if you want to get into the gym after school in a supportive environment, but don't want to commit to a sports team. We have game club where they use real Xboxes, Project Lit, and Soul Track. Soul Track is an incredible opportunity where you get to do outdoor adventures like camping in 30-degree weather in a really supportive environment that is you're taught all the tips and tricks to staying warm on those really cold nights camping. They also go biking and hiking. It's a really neat program. But this list is not exhaustive. Go ahead, Phillips.
I just want to hone in on the fact that like a lot of the programming that we have is dictated by the student's voice. Like it is what they have advocated for. And I just want you to see like that connection around like agency, around like our students, like leading their experience and their high school experience, and like how that is so important in your development as a high schooler.
I'm so glad you mentioned student voice because we have some students via video to talk about their experience, and it'll allow you to see the building a little bit more. I like to believe it's a very beautiful picture to start. This is the outside of our building right at 8th and Yuma. So put in the chat if this is not, if the sound is not loading, because I used to know technology and I don't anymore.
My school is different from others because of the community. The community here is supportive and well-rounded.
When I walk to school, it's just like so much joy around me. People come to me every day, shake my hand, give me hugs. I know people see me and see what I'm doing.
The teacher-students relationships are the best because without those, we wouldn't be able to like build our community on what it is. The teachers actually got to know me and not treated me as like a regular student. They actually helped me through times in my life.
I see myself as a leader, and the teachers have helped me grow as a leader. I didn't used to take school serious. But when I came to Legacy, it was like, now I know I got to do my work. I had high expectations for myself of getting a 3.0 or higher.
Here at KIP, I've grown tremendously. I've grown from getting out of my shell and doing things that I love to actually understanding work and how I'm supposed to do this work. we have a strong environment and we have a strong community and we also have strong classes. It's great here.
Or kept legacy. It's nothing else. It's just nobody could be kept legacy.
Let me repeat that. No one can be Kid Legacy.
Those students are truly talking about their experience. Mr. Epps, who works on our recruitment team, was there. They came in with little preparation. They were not paid to say those things. They were not told to say those things, but that is truly the life they live at Legacy. And I hope that your students or students yourself can be in this video in 2 years talking about the impact Legacy has on you. So how do we make that happen? The My School DC application closes February 1st. So that is 2 weeks from today. You must submit a My School DC application in order to come to Legacy unless you are an AIM student or an honor student. And I can stay on to talk to those students who are in the KIPP network at AIM and honor after about what you have to do. It's nothing, so you're good. But if you do not go to AIM or honor, you are going to log on to myschooldc.org. You're going to fill in information about yourself, your name, your email, your phone number, and then you're going to rank Legacy as #1. It is as simple as that. Hopefully we've convinced you, so you like leave all other schools off and put us as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all of the above. If that sounds challenging, please just go ahead and text 202-465-2043 with your name and your student's middle school. Go ahead and text that, and then our compliance manager will reach out to you Thursday or Friday to walk you through the My School application. She has incredible experience in it and would love to reach out. So just text your name, your student's middle school if that sounds challenging. If you have any other questions about that process, feel free to text them as well, but we want to help you out with them. That concludes what we had for you. 202-465-2043 for any questions. Text that, call that if you have questions. If it is January 31st and you are just wondering what that one last question or how do I submit, call, text that. Don't let questions keep you from Legacy. You can also email me at gretchen.demong@kippdc.org at any time if you want to set up a time to talk over the phone or have individual questions. Follow us at KIPP Legacy College Prep. Just to see what we're doing every day. I like to believe our social media is real cute. And then any questions you have for us, go ahead and place them in the chat so we can go ahead and answer them right now. It's true, if you have a question, I am sure it is on another parent or student's mind. And like I said, we'd rather answer questions now and have just honest conversation about your worries or anxieties so that we can convince you that Legacy is for you because we truly believe it is. Phillips, anything I missed?
I'm gonna end it with just no one can beat KIPP DC Legacy. And like thank you guys, thank you all parents that came out to hear our open house. Truly, again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or you can call the number for Ms. Demong. We are here to hear like whatever it is that you have that's like stopping you or that's pushing you towards Legacy as well. So please just like, if you have any questions, let us know. But thank you.
Yeah, feel free to pop questions in the chat. Alex, if you want to take people off mute, that is also fine. I'm going to stop sharing. And if you need to have a private conversation, feel free to let us know and we can figure out some breakout rooms. But thanks for joining us on a Wednesday night. Thanks for spending the last half hour listening to Ms. Phillips and I talk about something we love a lot. For those of you who can't see the chat, it's asked, what are the types of supports that are being offered for the ninth graders to make the transition easier? Billups, do you want to answer this one? This is a really good question.
So sorry, trying to unmute. Okay, so what are some of the supports that we have for ninth graders?
Yeah.
Number one, orientation. I think like orientation was like so huge, and it also was like a huge hit. And what I mean by that is like we like really, really, really focus on building a community. I will say, as a person who's been in different schools, different grade bands, that is like the most important part about building a culture in your school. I don't care if it's high school, I don't care if it's high school, middle school, elementary school, or ECE. Building that community and having kids like get to know each other in that community is probably the most important part. I do think that that was a big hit for us when it came for our ninth graders, getting to know each other, understanding how to work together in this space. Because remember, it is not only a new experience for them, but they're also meeting so many new people. Because a lot of our students coming from middle schools have been with the same people for the last 4 years, right? Well, for ninth graders, that's very special. So we have to support in them getting to know the people that they are now going to be attending school with for the next 4 years. So I think that has been really, really big. As we talked about before, we try to connect our students with a strong advisor. We have deans, we have restorative coaches, we have a director, we have a vice principal, all connected to that one grade. Again, just building that community is how we've done that. And also like building that community and that village with our families. Another piece that we always said is like, unsaid, but always like known is that like we are the village for our students. So like that has been a very big part of our like supporting of ninth graders, where like they feel like this village because we're getting to know them and because we're getting to know their families.
And Billups, just to like reiterate that dean, restorative coach, director, like that is an incredibly supportive line of people. And the dean role is supposed to be support. It's not supposed to be big, scary dean. It is dean I can bring my problems to before dean has to become big and scary. And so it really is creating a system of support for our students. And that really has helped with the ninth grade transition. They almost instantly feel like there is someone they can talk to.
Yeah. And we do know that this is also a transition for parents. So that's one of the reasons why like we're so big on building that community when it comes to our village. And it's also one of the reasons why we have in our mission that we are here to support a choice-filled lives for our families, not just for our students, but for our families.
Parents, you are now, if you want to come off mute and just ask us a question, that question was great. I also am like, thank you to all who joined, especially if you don't have an eighth grader. Like getting into this process early is incredible for your child's education.
Hello, my name is Nika Edwards. I put a comment, a question and all that in the chat. I don't know whether or not someone had responded to it, but did someone respond? Because I was talking to my daughter. To my question?
Yeah, it looks like, so you would be interested in like checking out the building in person?
Yes.
Okay, text me or email me. I am happy to figure out a time to give you a tour, to meet your daughter. We will make it happen. Just let me know.
And also like tonight, we have a basketball game. So some people came in to come to the basketball game, but also like they're like, hey, can we get a tour? We have some who are like, hey, I'm here to meet your football coach. There's so many things going on right now. We're here to meet your football coach. Is there any way we can get a tour of the building? And I do think you get to meet the kids in that space as well, because like they're running the school at that time. There may be SGA going on, there may be weightlifting club going on, there's basketball going on. So anytime that you like want to come in and say, hey, I also want to like, go to attend a basketball game or a football game, just let us know as well.
Before you sign off too, if you could just pop in the chat, either as a private message to me or overall, just what middle school your student goes to. Just we like
I
to
put it on it. I put in there Benning Road. She goes to the Benning Road location.
Okay.
Yep, on Benning Road. Key, yes, ma'am.
You,
I had another question. Where is the school located? The college, is that the one right there near Gallaudet?
No, that is KIPP DC College Prep. We're Legacy College Prep. So we're relatively new. We started in 2019. Our building was on the Willow Road, and now we've transitioned. We are in Ward 8 though, so which is great, right? Then we transitioned to this area, which is 8th and Yuma, which is called the Highlands area.
Oh, that's where y'all at. Okay. 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 I'm familiar. I grew up around Willow Road. So okay.
Okay, that's great. That's great. All
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
right, thank you.
Hi, I have a question as well. My daughter goes to Key as well. And two questions actually. One, I would also like to do a school visit if that's possible, just to tour the campus. And then my second question, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my second question is this. I'm very involved in my kids' education. And so I tend to check in with the teachers from time to time. I'm not sure if the middle school teachers and the high school teachers, well, let me just say this. At Key, the teachers that she have now would tend to talk to the teachers from the prior year to see how she's adjusting, what her strong points are, what she needs additional assistance in. Does that happen in high school, or will they check in with the teacher from middle school? Like, how much communication is there?
Okay, so I would say I once, just not long ago, was a principal at a middle school. And I will say that like KIPP is KIPP when it comes to communication, like we are very like, there's a strong pipeline there. And I also would say in the same sense, high school is a little bit more independent.
Mhm.
So we do reach out if we need to. For example, as soon as you said Key, of course, Mr. Sass comes to mind. Vice Principal Johnson comes to mind. So we do have strong connections with our middle schools. So we tend to tap in if we need to. A lot of times, Miss Principal Sass or Vice Principal Johnson will call me up and say, hey, Stevenson is coming to your school. Can we chat about like what I think will be best for them? Or the dean will say, hey, I've been having, Johnson has been really struggling in her math class. I'm going to tap into her last year teacher to see like, what were some of those things that they did to support her? So yes, we do it, but there's an and to that where high school is a little bit more independent. So it's not like we all have a big meeting and we go through every single kid. Because a lot of our kids, not all of them are coming from the KIPP middle schools. But that pipeline is still there where we communicate.
it's also I know some kids are like, I don't want to stay at KIPP. But it's an advantage to staying at KIPP because if we see there's an issue, we know we can reach out to Key. We know where your kid comes from and that we have like information. If your kid goes to a non-KIPP school, they kind of start afresh in maybe not necessarily the most supportive ways. This can be seen as supportive. We're not going to dig into like all their past stuff, but if there is something or we think that a solution can come from simply talking to the middle school, we have that direct line. Hey, Ms. Billups, do you have parent volunteers? Do you like parents coming into the building?
All right, absolutely. We have had some parents that support and volunteer. I know because of COVID, we haven't had like everybody that's come in. It's not the same as pre-COVID where like parents would just sign up and come in on a regular basis. However, we have had a few parents to volunteer. We've had parents, particularly for events, like for homecoming, volunteer for field trips and so on, but not like consistently coming in every day. And that is due to like our COVID protocol. All right. If there are no more questions, you know where to find us. And Ms. Spriggs, absolutely. If you see me pulling out in a few minutes, you want to stop me and talk to me in person, please do so.
If you have a question that does pop up, feel free to text me, email me, text the lovely team at our recruitment. And just reach out in general. Someone emailed me too about our Instagram. If you have questions that come up and you lost all the information, DM our Instagram. Please, please, please ask questions. I know I am someone who thinks of them in the middle of the night. So text away. We'll get to you once we are awake and can answer any questions. But thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing everyone in August. Some of you, it might be August 2024 to start high school, but we will see you then.